Hey, welcome back to Frost River. It's been a while since I've done a video and I didn't want to go any longer, so today we're going to take a quick tour of the layout. I had an open house on Saturday and had about 15 people come by and tour the layout and get the story. Some of my friends weren't able to attend and some of my friends aren't anywhere near here, so I thought this would be a good way to share that experience with you and let you see the current status of the layout. So let's get started. Frost River is a fictional town that's situated along the CSX main line, approximately where the real-life town of Richmond, Kentucky is. It's a small town, semi-rural area with a lot of through traffic on the main. We start here on the north end staging, which represents points north, Winchester, Kentucky, for example. As we travel out of staging, we merge with the mainline oval here and continue south along the main here on the outside of the peninsula to what will be the Jif Peanut Butter Factory. This is a model of the James Smucker Jif factory in Lexington, Kentucky, which I have, of course, transplanted to my fictional town. We'll continue along the main southbound, cross over the lift bridge to the Stanley Forage, Stanley Hay distribution warehouse, which is located on Russell Cave Road in Lexington, Kentucky. Continuing south past Stanley Forage, come around past the engine service area into Frost River Yard, which is in front of the staging area. Frost River has 2 arrival and departure tracks and 6 classification tracks. It has a capacity of about 60 cars. At the far end of the yard is going to be a car service rip track area. Looks like that one could use some help. Continuing south from the yard, we see the branch line come off here as the main continues for a second lap around. We'll catch up with that in a minute. The branch line comes around here on the near side of the peninsula. First stop is what's going to be an 84 lumber yard. Should be a nice big paved area with lumber racks and so on. We'll continue south on the peninsula. This will be a to be determined industry here on the north end of the peninsula, and another one here on the south end. Probably not a soup factory, but we'll see. The branch line then doubles back, crosses over the main again, and loops around past, crosses over to the narrow shelf on the wall there, and there is a paper products plant at the far end of the narrow shelf over there. Also coming off of the main here is a spur that extends across to this location, which is the Georgia Pacific Dixie Cup plant, also located in Lexington, Kentucky, which features this tall water tower that's in the shape of a Dixie cup. This will be a cutaway building. The longer of the 2 tracks there will be inside the building, and you'll be able to see the loading docks that are indoors, along with the tank car track, which is on the outside of the building. On the second lap, as the main comes back across the bridge, we again pass by Stanley Hay Factory, and then we branch off here, which enters the south end of staging. The staging yard itself is going to be hidden behind this large warehouse facility, which is the Young Storage Company, also another Lexington fixture location. It's also going to be covered by another building that will be here, the station building and this highway overpass bridge, which will come out over the yard. And we have one last industry back here, which is the West 6th Brewery. It's going to be a somewhat fictionalized version of the real brewery, which is much smaller, and it will be based on some of the older buildings that are in the distillery district in Lexington. Another feature of the layout is the overhead lighting, which you can see here. It's controlled by a pair of Arduinos that are connected to LocoNet. Each section of the layout has two white LED strips and a RGB color LED strip, and the Arduinos will control those to simulate day and nighttime lighting. It's also got an animated sunrise and sunset sequence, which I will show you here. Caveat that I'm still playing with the actual colors, and so right now only the sequencing is remotely real here. So let's get a nice view of the yard here, and we'll have a sunrise. The daytime and a sunset. This is the JMRI control panel that will show the dispatcher where all the trains are. Of course, it only shows the main line and the staging tracks. It doesn't show the yard because the yard's under control of the yard master. But each segment of the track will turn red when there's a train occupying that section, and black when it's open. This is the dispatcher's desk, which is in the hallway outside the layout room. It's just a small table with a computer showing the JMRI display, and with the track warrants and other paperwork that the dispatcher needs to do his job. So I've shown this before, I think in other videos, but this mess of wires here is the heart and brains of the layout. Over on the right with the two bright green LEDs is my 400 watt computer power supply that is powering the entire layout. And over here to the left is my Digitrax DCS240 command station, which is sort of the brains. You'll notice up there on top of the DCS240 you can see that kind of donut shape and the two large capacitors beside it. That's a adjustable switching power supply or power converter that I got. The computer power supply puts out 12 volts. The Digitrax DCS240 requires, I think, at least 13.5 or 14 volts to operate. So that power converter takes the 12 volts and shifts it up to 15 to give the DCS240 a nice clean voltage to work from. It's a 10 amp converter. And so it's capable of supplying plenty of juice for the command station to operate. So back under here on the left, the sort of clear, foggy looking thing there, that's a Raspberry Pi computer, which is a little kind of credit card sized microcomputer, and that is running JMRI and managing all of the dispatching and train control stuff. Over here to the right is my Digitrax PR3 computer interface. This is another recent addition to the layout. To the right is a RR Circuits BOD4 block occupancy detector that works off of the CT or current tap coil detectors. And over here to the left, connected to it, is a custom LocoNet interface that's based on yet another Arduino that I built in order to connect the BOD4 to my LocoNet. I'm quite certain that our circuits has their own interface board that will do this job, but so my original plan / hope had been to build my own CT coil detector. I was having a lot of trouble with that. I opted to go with the commercial product to do the actual detection, but I still wanted to custom build something, so I went with this setup here. This little guy here is my custom servo driver. It has 2 LocoNet ports powered by an Arduino and controls up to 8 servos for my turnout control. And I've got 2 of these on the layout. I might need a 3rd one. I'm running up to the limit. I think I've got actually 18 turnouts to hook up, and 2 pairs of those are crossovers, so I think if I wire those as with a Y cable, 2 servos to an output, I'll be able to get by with 2 boards. There might need a 3rd. We'll see. This is one of my infrared detector boards that powers the infrared spot detectors that I have in the staging yard. I have 4 of these boards installed. Each one's can manage up to 6 infrared detectors. I'm currently using, I think, 5 detectors on each board. There's a total of 20 in the staging yard. Once again, it's Arduino based and has the LocoNet interface. These are working pretty well, fairly reliably. The detectors themselves, still dialing in their sensitivity, but for what they're doing, they're working pretty well. So there's some work to be done on the lighting. I have some wiring bugs to fix, and of course I need to settle on the actual light colors. But that's a quick tour of the layout as it stands today. It's very nearly operational. I have most of the power turnouts connected in. The rest are parts are ordered. Most of the track is very functional. I'm still running testing, fixing a few bugs here and there, settling in on what the industries are going to look like, and deciding where the tracks are going to be. So I'm hoping to have a few test operation sessions maybe later in the summer or in the fall, once I get a few more of these things worked out. Okay, I'm guessing that's probably enough for now. You've had a chance to tour the layout, and I've shown you a few of the electronics, kind of current status. Like I said, I'm getting very close to where I think I can start running an operating session and get the kinks out of that. I'm pretty happy with the way things have gone. I also on Saturday was able to demonstrate all the things needed for me to earn my NMRA Electrical Achievement Program certificate. So that was a great accomplishment. I'm starting to look forward to working on the civil engineering AP next, and that will actually kind of be the beginning of starting some real scenery on the layout, because I'll need to be ballasting track and doing some drainage ditches and things like that. So look forward to that in the future as well. As always, I hope to make these a little more frequent updates than they have been. Fingers crossed that I'll be able to do that. In the meantime, I hope you're enjoying your railroading, and I look forward to seeing you again. Thanks, and bye.